How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Recycled Primates, where I wanted to follow up on my video about my effect microphones and actually let you hear them in action. And we're going to put them on guitar cab. I've got a very simple rock riff and a nice overdriven tone. I'm going to let you hear that with a 57 first so that you have that as a reference of what the guitar tone sounds like. And then we're going to run through a bunch of the effect mics, all of the telephone microphones from the ISD telemics to both microphones on the rotary phone as well as on the brass candlestick phone. And I think that you're going to find that the active elements on those, the actual microphone elements on those, are a lot gnarlier than the speakers, which are the dynamic elements. And it's almost kind of like a bit crusher sound. So some of you may love that. Might not be everybody's cup of tea, but we're going to check those out. We're going to check out the 50 cal bullet microphone, and we're going to be checking out the Fisher-Price. And with this, I actually just played back the 57 performance through my diyaudios, and I just mic'd my diyaudio with the microphone from the Fisher-Price, recorded it to the cassette tape in the deck, and then I used a 57 to mic the speaker and recorded the playback. And that's really cool. I also, since this is going to be the last thing you hear in the demos, I'm going to also give you a little bonus on a little mixing technique that you can do to actually use these in some cool ways. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the demos. Enjoy. All right, so an advantage of having these types of microphones is that you can put them on your guitar cabinet right next to whatever mic you're going to normally mic your guitars with, and that way when you record it, you have this parallel effect mic track that's just living side by side throughout the entire performance, and you can utilize it in any way you want to, whether it's for layering, a breakdown, or more commonly an intro, as I'm going to demonstrate here. And you can do it very simplistically, or you can do it more complex. And we're going to do a more complex application and then go back to a simplistic application and show you just how cool these microphones are. So let's jump in the DAW here, where I have the Fisher-Price microphone, and it sounds like this. It's a little harsh, and I want to just make it a little more pleasant to listen to, so I'm going to add an EQ where I am high passing at 100 and low passing at 4K, and then I'm pulling a little 8 and 3 out so that it just gets rid of the honkiness and just makes it a little more pleasant to listen to. So we go from this to this. So not super dramatic, it just makes it nicer to listen to. So let's get a little more complex. Let's pan it to the left, and then let's send it to an aux send, and we're just going to do a full level aux send, and we're going to pan that aux send to the right, and we're going to get this. Almost sounds more like a just slightly left justified mono guitar with a little bit more space to it. So we're going to add an echo, and we're going to have one echo 100% wet, and we're going to delay that echo by 50 milliseconds. So now we're going to get some more separation here. It almost sounds like two different guitar takes, or, you know, maybe a little bit of a splash from the left guitar over to the right, but it separates them and gives you a nice stereo image. Of course, we want to bring that up more so it's level, and we're going to add a compressor, and then we want to make the right guitar, the phantom guitar, sound a little bit different, so we're going to make it a little bit darker with an EQ, okay? And that's all I did with the EQ, very simple. Just high passed it at 100, I think. Let me pull that back up. Yeah, 100, and then low passed it at 2K, and then boosted just a little bit of 2K just to make sure we still had some of that detail there. So that sounds like this. So that's a cool effect. And let's add a little bit of reverb to that phantom guitar aux send so that now we get a little bit of a splashiness to it. And that was going to follow up with this. So it sounds like two different guitars, but then there's that splash from the reverb that just kind of adds a little bit something, but it's a little much. So we're going to pull that down about 2 dB and balance everything out for this. And then if we let it run into the main guitar tracks, it's going to sound like this. So now you hear how that transition was very smooth, it sounded cool, and you know, it just kind of gives you a new texture, a little bit more liveliness, more playfulness. So now let's add some drums to it and you know, see what it would sound like in a quote-unquote full production kind of thing, minus bass. So there you go. I mean, we just kind of had this whole movement that just kind of carries you through everything, and it makes it a lot more interesting to listen to. Now, of course, we didn't have to do any of the effects, right, with the Fisher-Price microphone. We didn't have to do the aux send or anything like that. So let's go ahead and cut that out. Let's leave the EQ, but let's put the Fisher-Price just dead center. So we go from a mono guitar to a stereo guitar with drums. And yes, I did not cut any of this with a click track, so, you know. But anyway, let's hear just the Fisher-Price in mono straight up with a little EQ to make it nicer, and then go right into that production and how a simple application is just as effective. And there you go. That is why these types of microphones are so much fun and so much more effective in just getting the creative juices flowing and allowing you a lot more opportunities to do more unique things. So I hope that you enjoyed this little demonstration here. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed those demonstrations, and it showed you just how cool these microphones can be in getting some creative sounds. And though we mic these kind of in traditional microphone placements, you know, where you place them and how you place them on your sound source is going to obviously have an effect on what you record. So these can be a lot more creative in application than plugins. And yes, I know that you can go for like $125, buy a telephone microphone, and that's okay if you want to waste your money, because you can buy an actual telephone at a Goodwill for like 10 to 20 bucks, get a spare mic cable, cut it up, and you make your own for under $40. And that's like if you're counting your time as money, you know? So I don't know why you'd want to spend the money. I mean, you can make it for much cheaper, have the experience of making it, and then actually be able to record cool music with something you made. It seems a whole lot better. But hey, you know, do what you want to do. There's plenty of people out there who want to charge you a couple $100 for a Chinese microphone and try and convince you that it's as good as a $2,000 microphone made somewhere in North America or Europe, you know? So, but yeah, these are cool mics. I really enjoy them. I hope that you liked it. We're going to do another demo with these on drum kit, where I'm just going to have them like 5 feet in front of the drum kit just to record some crazy intros, where you put it, you know, while you're actually recording alongside the actual drum performance so that you could adjust things in your mix. And for those who don't use real drums, whether you're using electronic drums with, say, Steven Slate drums or Tune Tracks or something like that, or if you just do like, you know, virtual instrument like EDM or hard bass kind of stuff, I'm going to do both of those as a bonus and record the playback from my diyaudios through my PVC mic so that you can hear how, you know, these effect microphones can actually be beneficial to you even if you do electronic-based music. So if you've made it this far, I greatly appreciate you for your time. You're a rare breed. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, hype, notification bell, all that good stuff. And always remember that you should never use guitar strings as dental floss. Nothing good will come of it. Till the next video, take care.